YouTube, good afternoon, good morning, folks. This is your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. You ever have that feeling when you try to get a girl over to your place for a long time, and you finally get that girl, finally got her, but then you gotta worry about her man being around the corner, so I say so you can't do nothing.
Playing hard to get. Playing
hard to get. You tease. So, anyways,
funny.
folks, I should have to introduce this lady. If you are truly a fan of women's bodybuilding, this lady's a legend. She's been competing nearly 40 years. She has been an IFBB pro. She has been a master Olympic competitor. This lady is a businesswoman, just a lady who I've been a fan of for a long time. One of the few women who have been, as I call it, a true women's bodybuilder. Not from figure, not from physique, not from bikini. True women's bodybuilder. There's only a handful of women in the IFBB who will say that. Helen Trevino, Irene Anderson, a couple of others at the back of my head. But she has been a legend for quite a while. We have the lovely Mrs. Michelle Brent. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for coming.
Hi, George. Yeah, I guess I'm an OG, right?
Yes, you're OG. You're OG. Triple OG.
Original OG.
You're OG triple. So this is so exciting. I felt a little again in springtime. So, ma'am, thank you for coming.
Oh, sure. I know we've been saying we want to do. I was going to do it, and then I get to going here, going there, and I'm like, what? I got to hook up with George.
Yeah. Then you hook up my man Glenn. Now, Glenn's my brother. I love him, but he push out my girl. But that's cool. He got connected because he was at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. As you know, I'm not a fan of Arnold, especially has done to the women's division. I just love his movies, but not a fan of his politics when it comes to being bodybuilder. But anyway, folks, we welcome this lady who is a legend and a businesswoman, and just really, I'm a fan, ma'am. It was just a pleasure to have you probably on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what question I'm going to ask you? What got you started in this sport, as I call it?
Okay.
Muscle and masculinity. Please share.
The cliche question, which is a legit good question. I was always an athlete, George. I always played sports in school and college. Played. Didn't really play in college, but I always was doing anything in the weight room. I was actually a phys ed major, and then I got out, and then I said, okay, what could I do now? Well, what could I do? I always have that competitive edge. So I saw it on TV one day in 1985. Okay, Diana Dennis was in the Nationals, and I'm like, oh man, I knew I had muscle because I always had that athletic background. I already had a good amount of muscle. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I'm literally watching on TV, and I'm watching her, roll on, doing her routine. I go, oh, that's so cool. They could do routines also. And I've always had a dance background, and I thought, okay, I could be muscular and perform at the same time. So, I got that hook. So I said, okay, well, let me try this. So I did a show in literally 1985, and it wasn't a sanctioned show. I think it was like this outdoor festival thing. And it was so damn fun. I'm like, well, this is cool, And there's like 3 of us, maybe 4 of us, and I won. And then 1986, that I said, well, let me try, these sanctioned shows, and that's where I started, George. And rest is history. I didn't stop. It took me 25 years to get my pro card, literally. I don't know why it took so long, but I was determined. So actually only in 2012 is when I got my pro card, but I started in 1986.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I think that era, it was like you still had Corey Everson competing then.
Yeah.
You had, legends like, Sandy Riddell. You mentioned also Diane Dennis.
Yeah.
That was a lady, great physique, great body. One of, like I said, one of the first, what I call it, muscle mommies or true muscle mommy.
And it was so, it's like, well, this is really cool. And it was just starting to roll, and they were actually having it on TV, bits, not the, like the whole show. And I said, well, let's, try this. So the first show was 1986. 85, I did that small, little outdoor thing. But in 86, I said, well, let me try, this sanctioned show that's in my area. And I just fell in love with it because I loved the performance part. So I said, okay, we do all the work in the gym. I didn't even, back then you didn't have coaches. You just kind of like wung it. And I like, okay, well, ironically, I didn't even, I don't even think I made the top 5. It was like, oh, okay, well, this is still fun, I didn't break my back or anything. I'm like, oh, one and done. So I just started rolling with it, and I won, I think, like the NorCal championship. I did the state championships. I still have my trophies. They're in my room here. Uh, and then from the state championships, you could qualify for the nationals. So I did my first nationals in 1986 when Kathy Palio. Remember Kathy Palio? She was amazing. Won. And I didn't. There was 30 of us, George. I mean, literally 30 girls in each class. I mean, there was rows of us, and that's all they had was women's bodybuilding. So I didn't make the top 15 because once you're 15, you're out the door. But I still, I guess being a true athlete, I just said, okay, I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to keep on going, and I just continue. I mean, back then, like I said, we didn't have these, coaches. We didn't have people really to guide me. I had a fellow that was going out with at the time. He ended up being my husband, my first husband. But then I just kept on doing it. And I just wanted to get that damn pro card. It was like, I don't know, I guess maybe the competitive edge in me. And yeah, so it, like I said, it took 25 years with literally only 3 years off. See, people don't know my history. They literally only took 3 years off, and and it was just seconds. A first, no overall. I did 6 second places at the North American alone. 6, okay, and then I get the win, and I still no overall because Monique Jones was the winner that year, and she was, I remember, and she was amazing. So, but I was determined, in 2012, I did it at the Universe, and here I am in my 50s now then, and I'm like, okay, now what? Okay, well, guess what? I decided right away. I did the Tampa Pro. We were talking about Tampa earlier, and it was literally, I knew, the 25 girls in the class. That was the time when Tampa was the show right before the Miss Olympia. So everyone, that was the last qualifier. So I did it when Sheila Black won like 3 times in a row. Remember, what was her name that won? Oh, tip of my tongue.
LaDonna Day, I know she won in 2020.
I did it in 2020. Yeah, what was her name?
LaDonna Day.
Oh, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it when LaDon won. It was
it Mona Persile?
No, I love Mona. Darn it.
Or was it you did it, I think either 2022, I think it was a year with Chelsea Dion?
No, if she's oh darn it.
Or the Michaela?
No. White girl. She okay, so that was in 2020 when she won, because I did do it during the COVID time, and there was only like 6 of us.
It was LaDon. LaDon won in the Open in 2020.
Yeah, okay. So
but I don't remember who owned. I think we were doing Masters then.
Maybe no. 2017 was when I had my official first retirement, and I think that was with Sheila Black. Oh darn it!
I think no. I think it was had to be Sheila, because you remember, think about it. Sheila won it 14 and 16.
She won it
and won in 2017, and then Aaliyah came and won in 2018, and Hella won in 2019.
Who's that?
Hella won in 2019.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember Hella doing it. No, it's like, darn it! I should have Bill look up NPC News. It'll come to me, even if we're done. But anyway, so I did that as my like get my feet wet show, and I'm like, oh my god. And then 2013, I think I did pretty good. It was still, I mean, the numbers were always in the 20s. The girls were showing up back then, and looking at
comments.
Oh, and I'm looking at it, and
positive comments.
Positive.
Hi, everyone. We'll read your comments for you, because we have here my man KL the Wanderer. coming through. Thank you, Kale. Says good
Okay.
evening. Appreciate that. He also says, I seen you at the New York Pro sitting with your husband, Michelle. I was amazed with your
Aw.
arms. Sorry I didn't approach you. Also, there you go. You got a little flex, Kale, so she'll be happy. Also, he says, I was in the fourth grade when she first competed.
Yeah.
I think it was too, yeah. Yeah,
See?
86, 86, I think it was about that time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, he says, this says, that's a long time getting your pro card.
I
If it
know.
was me, I would have gave up, but kudos to you. You are one of the great ones.
Oh,
Appreciate that,
thank
brother.
you so
Appreciate
much.
that.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm just a true athlete. I just it was something that was a challenge every year, and it's always us, me, whoever against ourselves. I mean, you're not in a team. You're not looking out for someone else to help support you. In the to make the goal. It's just you on that damn stage, and it's objective or subjective. And you're judged by these judges. But I don't know. I just kept on going, and then 2013 is when I did Toronto. Toronto, I still didn't make top 10, but I was my most jacked. I was really, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's really, and you're talking about. I mean, who was in that? Oh, remember Anna Frites? When she was all
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, okay, when she
Yeah.
was a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
and Melody Specco, oh God, the lineups were amazing. So I was just proud of myself that I could hang in there. And then I got my first top 10. It was in Chicago. I did Chicago after that in 2013, and I came right in 10th. I was so excited. It's like, yeah. But I just in the 2017, I said, okay, I think it's time to hang up the suit. I was Tampa Pro again, and then Jake, was bless his heart, man, he brought it back, and I knew I would never really get in Olympia, never know, but I said, okay, I'm going to give it another shot. So 2019 was when 2017, 2018, 20, then 2020, and then the COVID. But I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I mean, it's like I started the prep. So, and then it was Tampa again. I think the Tampa like 4 times, but then they started doing the Masters divisions was starting to get popular, and Gary Udit had his Masters Nationals, which I did a million times. I could never win one, but I still was there every year, and it was like, okay, you got all these Masters competitors, and everyone is really good. I mean, why don't let's see what's going to go on with this. And then when they wasn't rumor, I mean, the buzz was, okay, we're going to finally have a Masters Olympia. I'm like, oh hell, I'm there. I said, I got. It's like I don't care where it's at, I'm there, because everyone was saying it was going to be in Romania, and everyone's like, oh, but it's expensive. They don't pay your way. Blah 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 blah. I said, you know what? No one pays your way in this sport, George. No, I mean it's got to be the love for the sport. I mean, we don't get sponsorship. I mean, we're just we're on our own. And
Mhm.
so I did it. There was an invite, and they invited me, and I was like, oh yay! It's like, oh my God, I'm going to Olympia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was one of my most challenging preps. So the body started. Not. I've been very lucky. I've never had a major injury. I've never had surgeries. I've never had internal problems happen, but those little nagging things were starting to happen, and so it was like a challenge. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to really retire now. You're talking 38 years, 7 years of doing it, and after that show, though, I did go to the Gary has the Worlds, that Masters Worlds, and so literally 1 week. Bill, bless his heart, my husband's right here. He drove after we got back from Romania. Literally that Wednesday, Thursday, we drove, and he did all the driving, and I got on stage the next weekend at Gary's Worlds, and I stayed in my lane. I think I did the 50 and over, and I got third, but the 60 and over, I was like, that was my, um,
Swan song.
yeah, I had done it the year before. So I said, okay, let's do it again. And it was so cool, George. I had this gal named Carmen Brady.
Yeah.
She just got her. Okay, so she
Yeah.
was one of the first OGs I met in 1986, and then family problems. Then she was really good, and then she kind of fell off. So literally, she got her pro card like 3 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, I got goosebumps right now thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool. Well, she was one of my competitors. It was so awesome. I was like, wow, Carmen, we're doing this together after all these years. So then I made the big announcement. I got on stage and I said, okay, I think my body's finally enough's enough. So I've been enjoying, we'll see. They have the Masters Olympia again this year. It's the damn competitor in me. I mean, I don't know if they would invite me again. There's all kinds of, there's a different way they're doing it now, but I couldn't help it. I decided to put my letter in. So we'll see.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
congratulations.
Damn it,
Congratulations,
I
because
know.
I
I
know
know.
this is gonna be in Japan. And I
Yeah.
think Heidi, who won the men's, I think he was men's classic or was it men's open last year, he's supposed to be promoting it. And I think also it is invitation if you put in your
Yeah.
application,
Okay,
but
so now,
also you have to win, I think,
right,
40 plus
right,
to get
correct,
in with some
correct.
shows. But if you already, like, I know Shauna's already qualified because she won it last
Right. There's like 13,
2023.
there's 13 people already qualified, so it's going to be a little tougher with the invite part. So we'll see. They may say, okay, we need more people from other countries. So I said, well, let me just give it a shot. I mean, I have low back arthritis a little bit, and that basic hip sciatica. So I'm, dealing with that, but it's kind of in control. So I said, now that I know that I could work around it, let's give it a shot. So, get that thing for me. And so yeah, I couldn't take it. So I waited to the end though, because we only have 2 weeks until we find out if we, um, get invited. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a little tougher stretch. Now, if I don't get it, there's a chance I might do Chicago. Maybe. But I figure, okay, if they can't invite me, then I don't want to do it.
Well, you can always, I know Gary probably would love to have you back
A
at
little
the
patch.
World Championships. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not the Olympia, but it's still an opportunity to compete, and
right.
and also the Chicago has been pretty good for women's bodybuilding for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though Tim doesn't have it at Tampa anymore, that's kind of
Yeah,
disappointing.
yeah,
Because
we've been sad about that. We just found that out a couple of weeks ago. We found that out. Yeah, he's not having. He just doesn't. I mean, it's just the blah blah blah. I'm tongue tied here, but it's because there's no sponsorship. I mean, it's just it's inevitable that that all these other now they got this fit model, that they are offering all these other. Bless you. Was that a sneeze?
no, that was a spit. Hapui.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of it. I feel like
because of
here,
that.
here's the
Oh, yeah.
problem of that division. If you're bringing it in to be alternative to bikini, wouldn't after a while, no, because the sport has changed. In
Yeah.
another, I would say 2 or 3 more years,
Yeah.
that division is going to look like bikini girls now.
Okay. So this is, I think, how they're going to curb it. Uh, they said if you're doing fit body, that's all you can do. You can't cross over. So I think that's how they're going to keep it in control and try to keep it, like a fit body, I guess. I don't know. Because a lot of the girls, which I'm not a fan of crossing over, um, these girls are crossing over and doing bikini and they're winning. They're doing figure, they'll do figure, and they'll do women's physique and they'll win both. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But anyway, we'll see. But that's, I think, why Tampa got. And like we were saying earlier, Jake Wood is really not. He's ahead of the Olympia now, and I think his focus is on that show more. I mean, we're just so thankful that he had brought women's bodybuilding, and saved us. But I think now his focus is more the overall picture. So we'll see. Because he used to be
Yeah,
with um, Well, him and Tim, they're the ones that started it. They're the ones that started, the Rising Phoenix. It was Jake and his wife at the time, Crystal's idea, and then they needed the sponsor, the promoter. And Tim said, "Hey, I love women's bodybuilding. Let's go for it. Let's try to save it." And so now it's like it's just that getting that sponsorship is real tough. I mean, let's face it, it's people really don't like us. They just don't.
Well, you know what? I'm like this. I'm quoting my favorite comedian of all time is Bernie Mac, and it's just something
Oh
from
yeah,
me
yeah,
in
yeah.
house.
God rest his soul. Yeah. Oh, he likes to talk. Uh-oh. Lost him.
Had 9 people on. 2 people.
I didn't know he could have people on.
Yeah.
I'm fixing my thing. This thing. Is he there? Are you there? I'm fixing my thing.
Don't tell me. Wait. Hello?
Hey,
Oh,
what happened?
I don't know. It might have been some kind of surge or something. I think it was just like a momentary surge, folks. It was just a momentary surge. Technology is a pain in the ass. But as I was going like this,
And I'm talking away now.
yeah, but I'm going like this. Jake, and I do this anytime I say his name. Yo, Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I'm doing my Denzel impersonation for the Green Day. But we came and he gave women's bodybuilding the opportunity to fight back.
Yes.
It was great, but I understand that he's a businessman. He has to focus on the overall picture. He owns the Olympia now. That's the biggest show next to the Arnold.
Right.
And I just wish I wish that people who are a fan of women's bodybuilding, there's guys out there who are fans who have deep pockets, but because of what they might think people might say about them supporting the division, and also it's a money thing because you want to get something back as much you put into it.
Right.
We got here Mina Bina. She is an OCB figure pro, and she's been a guest before. He says, "This is exciting. Hoping for the best, Michelle." Thank you, Mina.
Oh.
And yeah, because she's a great young lady. She does OCB natural bodybuilding. I've talked about this on my channel how y'all ladies are the ones that started everything.
Right. I mean, like I said, I truly am the OG. I mean, there was nothing. It was just us. That was.
Yeah. Yeah, because first it was y'all, then here comes fitness, and then from fitness came figure, and then bikini came. But here's about bikini: it didn't evolve from the other, like from bodybuilding, like the others did. It was brought in. I say it like this: no, I've interviewed bikini competitors, no offense to the competitors, but your division is an invasive species.
Right.
It wasn't here like the others. It was brought in, and because it's been here so long, it's part of the environment.
Right.
Now you have wellness, that's a brand new division. Physique truthfully evolved from women's bodybuilding, some aspects of it, because I think they wanted that Linda Murray look.
Right.
But like anything, it's hard to go back. I mean, it's one thing we have men's classic, but even those guys, like Chris Bumstead, he just did a men's open show a while back. And here's the thing about the fit model thing, crossover, they make money, especially in amateurs with crossovers.
Right.
It's not going to stay uncrossover too long when you start seeing girls who start looking more like bikini competitors now, and they want to do a division that say, you know what, I want to get my pro card. I might not get in this division. I want to see if I can get it over here.
Right. And then if they get it in bikini, then they say, okay, well now, once you sign up to get your pro, the actual card, we pay. Then you have to decide your division then. So they could get it maybe in bikini and say, okay, well now I want to do fit model. But like I said, they were the only way I think they're saying that they're trying to curb it is like in the amateur division. If you're doing fit body, that's all you could do. A bikini girl can't come in and try to do fit body. You have to just do fit body. So I don't know if that's going to, solve the problem. I don't know. It's crazy. It's too much sometimes. I'm like, what more can you do? I mean, then you'll have a men's fit model. And then you'll have, I'm waiting for the kitty. I'm waiting for the kitty class.
I know it was like there was a big upper room where it was talking about maybe doing a men's wellness because they were doing some. I think in Brazil they had a men's wellness, but it's not going to happen here. You know,
Oh,
most
that was
definitely.
silly.
Yeah, that
People
was
get
just
on
so.
people get on the tizzy. That's why I try not to do too much social media. It's just gets
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta be on social media because it's where I get my contacts and
No, I
also get
know
my
that's I
information.
mean
Yeah,
with
like
our
you
business,
know,
with our
it's
business.
yeah, that's a business. But speaking of what we have here, we talk about her business. We're going to jump into Michelle's social media for a little bit. If you want to follow her, her links are in the description. Also interested in buying any of her product that her and her husband sell, check it
Yeah,
out. If you're not even a bodybuilder, you're just a fan, you like jewelry. I'm not a jewelry person, but hey, if
yeah.
it's something that you like, you want to see, check it out. So we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. You want to check it out, follow her. The links are in the description. And also, guys, I got a particular rule: be respectful. This is a nice lady. She's a legend. You know, respect this lady. So here he is. And here we have here you and your lovely husband, Mr. Bill. When did y'all two meet? Hello? What's going on? Hello? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Hello? Oh, hello?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, I actually hit mute by accident. How things go around. But okay, when did you and Mr. Bill meet?
Well, it's a cute story. You got to listen to my story. So, 2001, the USA, and I've done every amateur top national show to try to get this damn pro card. So the USA was one of them. And it was in 2001, and I was doing the show, and I had actually had my family there, and the fellow that I was actually seeing at the time. So he happened to be in Vegas, and it was cool. I mean, he kind of introduced himself. I don't remember, but then I got home and I had a website, and I had like my info on it, and I get this call, and it's Bill, and he's like, "Oh, we just started talking, and I'm like, oh, well, you're back east. I don't know." And then he sent a picture and he knew about bodybuilding and he was sounded cool. He sounded up and up. So we ended up meeting, like he was doing a meeting in Los Angeles. I lived in Monterey Peninsula at the time. This is California. And he came and met me. And then he decided, let's, set up a weekend to actually come and be with me. And the rest is history. So he actually met me at a bodybuilding show, but I didn't, he wasn't there to watch the show. He was there because he was in, what was it, a wedding?
No, Michael Hearn.
Yeah.
My friend
He
Michael
knew
Hearn.
Michael Hearn. Michael Hearn, it was one of the judges. So it was just ironic that he said, okay, the USA's this weekend and I'm going to check out this show. And so that's it. And then it was like the East Coast, West Coast thing. And then we got married in 2004 and it's been 20 years.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
to meet at a bodybuilding event and then, get married, start a long distance relationship and then start your business, because,
Yeah. He
yeah,
like I said, he understood the sport, because he did it himself. I mean, and so I said, well, this is too good to be true. He's a businessman. He watches what, he's healthy and he loves bodybuilding. Wait a minute here. Pinch me, right? So, yeah, so we've been, hanging in there. And we decided, okay, well, now we're in our 60s. Okay, so let's, I had this jewelry thing going, and I started it just kind of haphazardly. And he said, "Do you want to do it as a business?" I go, "This is 3 years ago now. We're in there 30." And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay. If you do the business end, right?" And I'm the creative, so all the jewelry I have now on, I put together. So yeah, it's fun. It's more fitness stuff. It's brentsbling.com. You guys got to check it out. I do custom stuff. I do beaded stuff. I do chain. I don't do just one thing. I do very, very, very custom pieces for the women bodybuilders. Like I did Hella, I did Rashana, I did two women's physique girls. One of them was, what was her name? But what I do is I actually hand make the bracelets to go with their suits. So I really like the women that put the little stones on all of the suits. I meticulously get the colors that match, and I create the bracelets for them. And so yeah, it's been really cool. We're just having a good time with it. We go to mainly fitness events, mainly bodybuilding shows. We've been to Romania when I did Olympia. We brought it to Romania. So we've got people all over the world, wearing our, stuff. Uh, where else were we? Just, yeah.
That's the Olympia.
So, we just finished doing Olympia. We did,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the Arnold. We're going big time now. So we just had a huge booth at the Arnold, and we had a blast. I mean, because I know so many people, and they can come by, and I custom stuff right there on the spot. So it's been fun. It's really fun. This latest piece, I don't know if you could see it. It's like a little plate weight.
Let me see. Let me second.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the. We'll go back to the screen for a second.
Yeah. This is some of the stuff that I have on my neck.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now this pearl one here. This is actually for a customer. I got his pearls and he wanted me to restring them. So I do stuff like that too. But this little plate weight, it's called my Dainty and Durable line, and it's mainly gold plated, gold filled. Because can't deal with real gold stuff, but they're all quality. And then I have this one here is my little dumbbell. But so this is funny. I do real fun stuff. What else do I got? I got these here. This is my little charm bracelets. We do ice jewelry. It's fun, huh, Bill? We do ice jewelry. It's fun. We do all, George. It's great.
Yeah, it's great that you have a passion both for bodybuilding, also for jewelry.
Yeah.
You find a niche in it. We have a comment from a man KL. He says this. He says, "Be nice to the fit models." Nah, like a man Dalton. There's a time to be nice and time not to be nice. I'm not going to be nice. So that's what he said. Also, he says,
"I'll be diplomatic." It's like, but there's
diplomatic. Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. He also said, "I meant to do. Do you see women's bodybuilding having longevity? So, like with things going on now, what do you see? You think
The thing
another?
is, number one, the thing is, I know it's the hardest division because we have to put the most muscle, and the things, the prep that we have to do is the most demanding. But the women have to show up. I mean, we have 20, people in a physique. You have 25, bikini because it's more attainable, but we need to see the numbers. We need at least 10 plus in each show. I mean, the beginning of the year, there's 5, 6 girls. And then I'm like, why not show up in the early shows? I have a friend that, their justification was, oh, well, everyone waits, in the summer or why? Why? I mean, if you plan on something, plan on doing your prep during the holidays and you got, those early shows. So, I mean, if all the other divisions have 20 and they show up, March and April, why can't the women bodybuilders show up? But that's, one of the problems. I think you just have to have, the accountability of them showing up. We'll see. I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. I'm hoping not. I mean, like I said, the bodies, it's a little challenging in the amateur division because there really is not that many. But they seem to be showing in the nationals. I mean, they, always have a champion every year, and if they're good, they, come to the pros. And the thing is, they gotta compete. I competed all this time. Come on, girls.
Well, like I said, we know it's close to the holidays. Some people want to take and enjoy the holidays. I know they had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. They only had maybe 2 women competing in women's bodybuilding. But then to get pro cards, one lady, she's amazing physique. She has potential. She comes in great condition. She probably can get a pro card in women's bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. And then, nationals this past year, I interviewed the lady who got her pro card in women's bodybuilding. She also got a pro card in women's physique too. Yes. And it's because it was only a handful of women, they just made it one class. And I seen that it was a couple of girls who looked more like women's bodybuilding, but it was like one woman who was women's physique winning. And the thing is, again, yes, everybody should show out, but it's just about them if they want to come and compete. And Triple O coming up next week. You
I'm hoping
know,
there's
yeah,
going to be. They have the masters division too. I think a lot of women are now that they have the Olympia again. Some of the good quality, gals. Everyone's 40 plus. It seems like in bodybuilding. So it's going to be interesting at the Triple O. I think Maya Ash and Teresa Bensick, I think, are going to cross over and do the masters part, which is good. We need that quality, but. They need to show up in the earlier shows or any show really.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I did the New York Pro, and the New York Pro was like, yeah, the New York Pro, 6 girls. I mean, when I did it, there was 8 of us. Last year was 8. It seems to be about 8, 9. Like damn, it should be 19.
well, like I said again, most ladies take that time. They rather feel like they want to wait for the later shows. But here's the problem now, with possibly with Tampa gone, there
Yeah,
was talk about Texas having it, but then they dropped it.
yeah, yeah,
And only show that's going to be that far in the summer is going to be Chicago and Alina show, or you might have to go overseas
yeah.
and do shows.
They have the Mr. Evolution, the M Pro. There's like 3 or 4, 2 or
Yeah, because I think you have Alina.
Spain.
Alina got a show. Her show, the Alina Classic, and also there was the Europa that was in UK, but it moved to Germany.
Oh,
And the muscle fest is for next year's qualification. I heard this that the Titan Grand Prix is coming back,
oh,
but it's not going to be qualification for this year's Olympia. It's going to be
okay,
qualification for next year's Olympia. Here we
okay.
got a comment here from my man KL. He says, your husband look a little bit like Sugar Ray Leonard, or is it just me?
He does. Come here, come here, come
No,
here.
no, no, no,
Look,
no.
look,
Here,
see?
here,
My
champ.
lovely wife.
He's had that. He's had that comment. He's had that. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
Yeah, she was the most articulate boxer. He say the big words, even though he got a little bit punch drunk. Also, we got a comment from a man. KR says, "What is the big deal with the Triple O?" Because here's the brother. This show is being sponsored by 3
By
of the biggest
3
women in bodybuilding.
Olympians. Yeah.
That's Whitney Jones, the 8-time champion, Cindy Gillen, and the five-time
My
champion.
son, Andrea.
This is something I want to show you.
It gives you goosebumps. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're
Eunice,
class.
Eunice, who was bad rap. When Eunice was at Olympia back in 2023, she got me this issue
Oh
of muscle
wow.
development. But what makes it so special? What makes it so special for me was this that Andrea took the time and she signed it for me.
Aw.
I love this. I know.
Yeah. We don't have paper magazines anymore. It's so
No,
crazy.
no.
Well,
I gotta.
Yeah, Glenn Young from Amazon Fit Magazine. He's actually, I give him kudos that he's, doing an actual paper magazine. We just talked about. I did an interview with him, and that's awesome because the late great women's physique world. I mean, you remember Women's Physique World, right? I mean, that's like the magazine, and that they were the ones that did all the photo shoots. They paid the
You no
women.
problem. What's going? Back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Usually I do interview. I don't usually have this problem that often. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe because I'm just so excited about having you here, and then the fakes know about this. So let's put some riches.
Arms. Oh, look at check it
Yeah,
out.
look at the arms. Look at the guns. Look at the guns, son.
I still
But
got
yeah,
the
you got the guns, son. She's
uh,
she's 60 years old. And I'm
68.
like
Okay, I'm
58.
transparent.
I'm sorry.
68.
Just not 68, 58, respectfully. I don't got that. I just got this flab. I got the flab. But, yeah. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for your ladies to get a show because Arnold Kitchiology,
Yeah, yeah.
the classic.
That's the big deal about that show because it's 3 women that put up, and it's by 3 Olympians, and they're like I said, it's not easy to put a show on. It's not easy to get that sponsorship. I was thinking about it this year, but maybe next year. To put some money up for Brent's Bling to be there. We were thinking about it this year, but it coincided with something else we're doing. But yeah, so that's That's awesome that they're doing that. I actually did it last year. Teresa was the winner. I had I sourced it out, but made I put it together. It was a triple O logo, and it said bodybuilding. You know, then I had the person I sourced it out to put women's bodybuilding champ, and that was like a gift I gave out, you know, for them last year. So I do things like that too. I do uh, little gifts, you know, for the athletes,
Folks, I
and
don't know what's going on. It's
yeah.
any other time I don't have a problem.
Well, I just have to come on again. I have to come on again when they announced me being in the Masters O again. I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see. Like I said, you know, going back to that, this is a little bit more of a challenge this year because there's already 13, you know, because there was the qualifications from last year they added to the list. Then there's going to be 4 or 5 more. So the invite part, I think, is going to be a little bit more sparse. So, but I'm giving it a shot. We'll see.
Yeah, I know it's tough. Especially you want to be a division that fits you as an
Right.
athlete.
Right.
And I wish again that more people give anybody that chance. It's just, it's not fair. As a fan, to me, it's not fair. But I understand the fact about business. And I would say, if you become a sponsor, especially, like there's a show in Mississippi, Tupelo, they're doing masters, but not open. That
Oh
be
yeah,
because I think,
that's
Judy Garland went. I think
Judy. I
Judy
saw
Garland.
Judy. I saw Judy.
Yeah, yeah.
Judy. I saw her
That
at
would be
the
a
Arnold.
great start because you know what? It's a little closer, because Mississippi's not too far from Virginia. So, you can talk to her. She's a bodybuilder
Yeah.
herself, and maybe you can figure out and set it up. But while we're here, we're going to talk about a dear friend of ours, who passed away some time ago. The
Oh,
lovely Ronda Lee Charisma.
yeah.
I remember the first time I got interviewed, I was so excited because she was an amazing lady. I remember doing an interview. She told me that she helped you get prepped for the Chicago that year. I think it was in
Yeah,
2020.
actually, the way we met now was when women's physique, because I did a lot of, another thing I did, George, was a lot of choreography. When the women's physique started in 2010, 2011, I think it was the first year I actually was on stage, or 2012, I think, because I did one of the first seminars because no one knew how to, do the poses, blah, blah, blah. So she wanted to make a comeback and do physique. So she had gotten a hold of me and we zoomed. We did. It was actually a Skype thing, and I go, oh my god, I know who. I go. She was enamored by me, and I was enamored by her, and she needed help to with the posing for women's physique. And then in the background, she had her cat look just like mine. We're cat people. We got 4 here, but I'm like, oh my god. So that's how we met, and we became really good friends. And when she moved to California, we were there for a bit with Bill's work. We were so close. She was like my sister. She started doing this artwork with glitter and stuff, and that's what that picture was. I've got some of her pictures here on my walls, and she fought the fight. She had colon cancer, and
Mm.
she fought it for 3 years, and I was there to the end. I mean, oh, I don't want to cry. But I was there to
Yeah,
the end, man. It was brutal. And I just
yeah,
lost my sister to cancer. So,
yeah. I, we were like talking back and forth on the phone every now and then, and she was, and every so often I sent a little package. I mean, one thing she did was, remember Mr. Coates? When Mr. Coates got sick and she lost her leg,
yes.
she hooked me up with Mr. Coates, and I
Yeah.
said, talking with her on
George. Hi, everybody.
There you go. Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, I'm there. I don't know what's going on. It seems like is it you got a black cat in your house?
I have a black and white. I have a tuxedo. She's amazing.
Uh,
I walk her
okay.
outside. Today I walked her outside. My neighbor was like, no way. I'm like, yeah, she hangs out with me all the time. But I have 4, yeah. But she's a cutie.
Yeah, but going back to Ronda Lee, we
Yeah.
was in contact, and when I heard she died, it kind of broke my heart. If you go to my YouTube channel, I took and I posted the interview we did. It's on the homepage of my YouTube channel. because she was an amazing lady. We had a great
I
conversation,
know.
stay in
She's so
contact.
sweet.
It's just not right things are going on. Here we have a comment from a man, KL. He says, "You're tempting me, Michelle. Be careful flexing."
Okay,
Also,
I'll give you another one now.
yeah, you gotta careful. Hey, Michelle, gotta careful. These guys here, me and my most super smokes, and they just love y'all ladies. They get excited. The
Well,
big
wait,
muscles
wait
and
a minute.
everything.
Here's a forearm then. Oh, check the forearm out. Come on. Who's got
All
forearms
right,
like
calm
this?
down, guys. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Put away the lotion, the tissue. You'll be okay. So, and also he says this. He has a question. He says, "What was your best show competing?" So, what was what was the best show that you really feel like you did your best in?
I think really we were talking back as there's so many. I've done so many as an amateur, but as a pro, it was a struggle. My best one, I mean, yeah, the 16, that was cute getting I said cute, getting the 60 plus. But that Chicago show, because 2013, because I made, like I said, I think there was like 18 of us that year, and I made that top 10, and I was like, oh man, I'm in the mix now. So I actually think, believe it or not, that was one of my best memorable shows was the Chicago Pro in 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
didn't
yeah,
even get the
Chicago.
pro card wasn't memorable because it would take me so long.
Well, folks, I don't know. Maybe it's her side of mine. I'm give it a minute, folks. It's got to be something. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. I don't know. I feel like I'm cursed. Finally get her on here and things will act up. If my man K is picking on me, he says this. He says, it says, time for a new computer. It probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
Well,
yeah, but
the stream link or whatever it's called, I never heard of it. StreamYard. Yeah.
well, I've been using this for a platform for a long time when I started doing my interviews,
Okay.
and it's been doing pretty good. But I don't know, it might be the computer. I remember I had one of my computers, it started acting up because I don't know. I might need to clean the data out every so often. I try to do that, but
Yeah, yeah.
usually done pretty good. I know. I think doing an interview with Glenn, you also had some glitches. I don't know. Maybe it was just something about South
Yeah, yeah.
Carolina
A couple.
and
Yeah, 'cause that's what
Virginia.
I asked because he has the StreamYard too. But
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about maybe switching to another one, maybe just a little better. But it's been doing pretty good for this while. But
yeah, yeah.
the experience is, like I said, being there on the stage and competing. What was that feeling like for you? Your first time.
Oh my God! Like I said, that was way back in '86. No, it was actually that very first time was 1985. It wasn't a sanctioned show, but was it the '85 one? No, it was 80. No, yeah, yeah. '85 was the one in a town called Santa Cruz. They didn't sanction it, but it was actually in a theater. It was a really popular show. But yeah, that's the one that that hooked me, and I just had a knack for it. I wasn't afraid. I was like, yeah, this is fun. You're so naive, the first show, But the judging part, because of having a good dance background, I picked up the posing, right away, how to do back then you didn't, like, once again, you didn't have coaches, you didn't have posing coach, you didn't have nutrition coach, but it was so much fun. Like I said, I didn't even make their top 5 in that show, but we all got to pose, and it was like, it was just so exciting. It was like, oh, this is cool. So that I think that first show was really what really made it. But
Yeah, I know. Everybody has different experience, especially that first time on stage. It can be nerve
yeah, I didn't.
wracking.
Yeah, I had a great time. Like
Yeah.
I said, I didn't make the top, and I wasn't sad about it. Like, oh man, I should have been. But it was like it was on a whim, though, George. It was like 3 weeks. It was this couple. They were like the bomb back then. They were the couple because they used to have couples. Remember, they used to have couples, and they noticed me in the gym, and they said, "Well, you could do this bodybuilding, blah blah blah." And yeah, that was it was them. They were the ones that actually encouraged me to do it. But it's yeah, it's just something they just kept on doing.
Yeah, because we
you know,
get
I've been
to
I've
yeah,
been
you got to
told,
do sport. You got to do sport like a passion
yeah,
because
you
it's
know,
not as lucrative if you compare it to
no,
other sports.
No, now I'm looking at it. Maybe possibly if I don't get the invite, maybe do to Chicago because we could bring the jewelry there. Now I'm looking at it as part of my business. And Bill's, like I said, so into the sport himself. Aside from being my business partner, we said we could drive. It would take a little while, but we could still you know make it happen. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Even maybe bring it to Japan. We brought it to Romania.
yeah,
Brent's playing.
yeah, I think Japan's a new kind of area, especially I think bodybuilding has grown in the last few
Oh
years. You
yeah, it's
wouldn't, even
immensely.
though yeah, even though it seems a niche sport, it's not as popular or well known. You wouldn't know a lot of names unless you think about bodybuilding. You think about two people: Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. But it's really has expanded to other countries. I've interviewed ladies as far as Australia, South Africa, and
Yeah,
Romania, and Great Britain. Quite a few are neighbors from the north, Canada, ladies
yeah.
from
Oh
South
yeah.
America. I mean, it's really has grown. We have here a comment from my man, Damon J says, who's the best female bodybuilder in her opinion, if you may ask her, George? And also he says this, he says, currently, right now, I mean.
Currently, right now, um, well, I would say Andrea. Obviously, I mean, she's got a beautiful body. She's got that Linda Murray, uh, but with more muscle even. And she's a great personality. She's great, for a representative. She's always smiling. She's not, because let's face it, a lot of the bodybuilding women are scary. Okay, they're scared to approach, or they're always mean, or we're always dieting. But yeah, I would have to say Andrea. I actually met her the year. I mean, I got so much history with my career, but when Jake brought the ladies from all the past Olympians, and a lot of them showed at the Olympia in
19?
1920, yeah, yes, yep. And he had them all on stage. This was before he brought it back to the Olympia. And yeah, it was just amazing to have all these OGs, really OGs, there at the Olympia. And I actually made them all bracelets. It was so cool. I got the Wings of Strength colors, and I had sourced out their names and the year that they got their Olympia title. But I have to say Iris too. Iris, of course. Iris 10 times. Come on.
That woman, like, think about it. You could say this. She's been a 10-time women's bodybuilding Olympic champion, but that's 10 titles. That's two more than Ronnie, two more than Lee, definitely two more than to Linda. That's 10 titles, and nine of them been consecutively.
Yeah,
9 years straight. All these people will always say like,
crazy. It was
yeah,
crazy. She
yeah,
was
because
always on, always on. I mean, and we just have met her more. Now that actually, like once again with my history, I watched her do. Let's see, it was the Cal State Championships in Southern California before she did the USA to get her pro card. Now she didn't win the USA the year I did it in 1996 it was. I said, okay, I'm going to be heavyweight that year. Well, oh my God, your 25 girls are all amazing. And Heather Foster, remember Heather Foster? She was the one that won. Betty Parisio was in that. Laura Ontenad and Iris. Who else? There's so many. Brenda Ragano was crazy. But Iris didn't even win. It was crazy. But she won I think it was same. I think she won the USA the following year. But yeah, so it's that I think it's that competitiveness, that drive, that women like her, Andrea, me. I mean, we just love the sport. We just whatever happens. Once again, we don't make that much money. We don't have that much support. We have our fans, but you just gotta love it. You gotta love it. And if once that dissipates, that's when it's time to.
yeah, because I know it's a cost. Compared to the men, When they're getting ready, they have to need more food, this and that. But mostly, all they need is a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it.
Oh,
Y'all ladies, y'all ladies have to present this physique with also great look, femininity. Remember, polo suits wasn't that very shiny. They were just plain. You get like a
yeah.
nice suit, but now the look has changed. Now
Yeah.
you
Oh,
want you.
I see so much. I've seen when they used the year that uh, Bill watched me in 2001. I should have won that USA. I was so on, but they were looking for 20% less muscle and smoother. And then they rejudge, and then they said we're going to rejudge if we think placing's different. So I've seen it all. The 20% less muscle. We all thought, what the hell is 20% less muscle? But that was interesting. That one. But I think bodybuilding. To answer your question earlier, I think it's going to stay around. It's not going to. It's not going anywhere. It's just that we just need a little bit more support. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's the
see.
thing. That's the thing Wayne Straight was doing. He was doing pretty good on that, but now I think he's backing off a little bit, focusing
Yeah,
more on stuff
like we
like
were
around the
saying.
Olympia. I, this is what I keep saying. I wish there were some people out there. I know there are fans of this division and who follow bodybuilding, but again, people don't want to social ship because one thing about bodybuilding is always steroids. But the thing
Right,
is, you see steroids in other sports. You can see in baseball, basketball, football.
right.
I've done content on mixed martial arts, and MMA fighters been busted on steroids, but because they look at it because it's only that small factor to it. If you're not like I have had pros on here who tell me, George, if they even take the same stuff I took as gear, they wouldn't look like I do if they don't follow consistency in the diet and train because it's not that easy. It's not for everybody.
Right. I mean, especially for women, because we have that extra, body fat. Hormones are different. I mean, it's a tougher haul to get in shape, but it is amazing. I mean, the shape we do get in is like very few of us, and I just have to just be proud of all of us, and my sisters of iron, and just message out there to them: hang in there. You love the sport, do it. If you don't feel like don't get into it, for monetary reasons. Do it because you love it, and I love it. I mean, everyone gives me a bad time. You're never gonna retire, Michelle. You're never gonna retire, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we got a comment from a man. Damon J says it's funny when you say that George banana hammocks and boy shorts. I said board shorts, but we have boy shorts too. Also, he said this is from Jamie. It says the 20% rule back in the day was aspirin. To me, glad they got rid of it. Yeah, because I think it held up some ladies.
It
Also, we
lasted like
have it.
maybe a
Yeah,
couple of years. It
yeah,
lasted. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like we're
Also,
bodybuilders. This is the division is bodybuilding. It's about muscle. I mean, it's just. I mean, yeah, there's a fine line. There still could be a fine line. Some of the girls, yeah, have taken it. But it's a prerogative, and it's our prerogative that we want to put on muscle. I mean, we have muscle anyway. I mean, we're all born with muscle, right? I just always, me personally, I always had a muscular physique, even before I started bodybuilding. I mean, I was always had some sort of muscle, and just genetically, I was athletic and had that muscle you know, background, to start before. I wasn't like a stick. No, I wasn't that. I was always stocky. I started out with muscle, and it was like, wow, this is cool. Let's just keep on going.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got a comment from my man KL says fans get stigmatized by liking female bodybuilding, especially women's bodybuilding. Yeah, because you know what? It's something that is different to the everyday person to see a woman with muscle, especially a woman like yourself. It's just I think it kind of changes what people think of it because I often have ladies tell me like, oh, people might make comments and stuff like that, like you're trying to be a man, da da. But they don't say anything about the guys. The guys can get as big and freaky as they want, but the women, you have to try to walk that fine line.
Right.
Yeah, still
I've never,
feminine, but have muscles.
for the most part in my career, I've never really had too much derogatory things said. I think because my personality, number one. I'm not like overly like I'm only 5'3", 5'3.5", so I'm not like intimidating. But as I'm getting older, I inspire more people now because what I'll see someone and then, oh my God, how old are you? And I always say it, I'm proud of you. And I said, yeah, I've done this all my life, and I always watched my health. I mean, I've did it correctly, and muscle was always, part of my physique. So, so it's kind of cool. Once I'll get little old ladies, I'll get kids, I'll be, of course, guys, younger women. I mean, so it's, I like to say that I'm a good representative of it and to show the positive side of it.
Yeah. We got here a comment from my man KL says, "You don't look intimidating." Yeah, thank you, brother. He says, and also my man
Play smile.
Damon says, you're a great guest, Michelle. And he says, appreciate your time here. Yeah, because you know, you ladies, y'all work just as hard, not as much as hard as the men, because men and women are always gonna be different, you
Yeah.
know, and y'all deserve just as much recognition as respect. No offense to the divisions like bikini and wellness. To me, I find bikini. I just sometimes you have to, like, I think it was even a couple of bikini ladies, and they did the universe last year, and so it was 600 girls in bikini, and then one lady, she did a show in women's physique. She said they had to take and just pile so many physique competitors together so you can have enough for one class. But I say like this: I'm a fan, and
Yeah.
been a fan, and really follow this sport and doing this content. I really get to learn a lot. What it takes y'all ladies, what you use as competitors to do this sport, and the work and time you got to put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just way of life. It's always been a way of life for me. So, I just once again put it out there for the women is, you know, go for it. Don't be shy. You want to put muscle on, do it. If you want to be bikini, be bikini. If you want to be wellness, everyone's got their physique, that they actually are, categorized in. But yeah, I hope to see it still flourish. And I'm always a fan myself. Bill, we're always, fans. We see a new girl in the gym, and Bill's more than me. Oh, do you compete? You can compete. We try to recruit them.
Yeah,
Recruit
it's
them.
good. That maybe inspire somebody, because I know a lot of ladies said that they didn't want to do a certain division, but then they start growing and developing as an athlete, and they see their body changing, and then you either have a choice: either you pull back if you don't want to go up to women's bodybuilding or physique,
Right.
or you just say, you know what, maybe go with the flow with it.
Yeah.
But be smart and safe when you're doing it. Here we got a comment from Damon J. He says, not a fan of bikini wellness, and sure heck, not a fan of fit model division. Sure as heck, you can say hell. We're not children here. And it says, to KL says, if you have problems going to sleep, watch the bikini division. I'm sure you will sleep good. And also,
Uh,
this is from
Everyone's got,
David
like I
J.
said, got. I try to get into it sometimes because I'm getting low on battery. Because I've had a few women that I've helped with posing, but I watch it and I just go, oh my God, it's like they all look the same. They look the same.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's cookie cutter. But if you look at now, the vision's starting to evolve, starting to change. We have a couple more, and we won't hit you more long because everybody's getting low. We have a
yeah,
couple more here. We have a man here. Damon J says they have those three divisions. Simply means that IFB is desperately for money in the women's division category because they promote those categories the most. Yeah, that's that
yeah.
part about it.
I mean,
And
what
also,
it boils down to is, it's it's a business, like any sport is a bit, So go where the money is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it is. I like this. That's how it is. I remember I was watching this thing where it was a movie I remember, and the guy was asked, "Who's your favorite bank robber?" He told him bank robber. He said, "Why he's your favorite bank robber?" Because he told him, says, "That's where the money's at, robbing banks." And that's what it is. You want to pull in. That's where fit models come in. You want to pull in more people who can easily do it because you don't have to put on some muscle, but you still have to train. But eventually, like I said again, those same competitors are eventually going to start wanting to put on the muscle because
Right.
bodybuilding
It's
is a
like,
very extreme community and can be very
yeah.
infectious. We have this one here, and I think we might let this go here. It says, from a man, bodybuilding fan, '01 says, Michelle, very beautiful lady. I
Oh.
got to see her at the New York Pro back in 2010. She also has very nice cookies, chocolate chips.
Oh yeah, no, I used to
Definitely
do that.
was one of my favorites. Because
I've
he's
done
some
it all.
cookies too.
They call me the Martha Stewart of bodybuilding because I used to actually make a protein cookie. I forgot Michelle's Magic Morsels. They were great, but a lot of people remember me from my cookies. But my jewelry, I like. It's fun. I just don't have to worry about baking and storing stuff. So, and another thing about it is these bikini girls, these fit figure or whatever, I say bring them on as far as for my business because Brent's Bling does the jewelry for the women. Like I said, I sell the competition jewelry too. So in that respect, I'm like bringing them all on.
Yeah, it's about making money. If everybody who likes the jewelry, who's particularly they find something they want to wear, especially on stage or when in
Yeah.
the gym or just going out.
Yeah,
It's a business.
yeah. Everyone check out brentsbling.com. We have an array of stuff. I mean, like I said, solid cube necklaces. You could do them plain. You could do them with pendants. We have the plate weight pendants, dumbbell pendants. We have the little muscleman pendant. It's really cool stuff, and it's all mainly stainless steel we work with, so it doesn't tarnish. Our gold is also stainless steel based, so eventually the discolor, but if you take care of it, it's good stuff. Bill's a good. He always goes to the gym. We always wear the pieces in the gym, and he's always doing the videos for us, and he's great. He does all the advertisement. But brentsbling.com, guys.
Yeah. If you want to, folks, the link is in the description of this live stream. You
Yeah.
can check it out. Go
Support
follow
us.
her. Follow her husband Bill. He's like the Black Billy Mays of Break Rings. I mean, there it is again. Oh, Tim. Yeah, shout out to him and shout out to you. We got one more good in this right here and here. This is from my man Damien says, women's bodybuilding unfortunately hasn't been popular since the 1990s. I mean, the Miss Olympia was airing on ESPN. I remember it
I
because I
know.
watched when I
I,
was younger. Yeah, I
I
remember.
know. When it first started, a lot of my national shows they had it on ESPN. You probably see. I think there's still one on YouTube. It was the USA Championships from 1989, and it's still. I think it's still up there. And yeah, they used to always. Then once again, as it evolved, and the women got bigger. Then it started getting. But heck, man, it's about sport. It's about muscle. So bring it on.
Well, we all know it's always gonna be those selling with men and women. Women, you have to stay feminine, but you can't have too much muscle.
Right.
Guys can be big because they want. Can be big Rami or Samson Dewar, but
Right.
people like Andrea Yo, who have great physiques. One lady I interviewed a while back, Sheriff Rami, she's not competing this year because she's dealing with some stuff.
Oh, we got this new little one too. Ivy Strong. What's her name?
Ashley Jones, yeah.
Ashley Jones. She's up and
She's
coming.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
I'm a
Oh
fan
my
of hers.
god.
She has a lot of potential, and I think she's not even. I think she's in her early 30s. And I
Yeah,
remember when
yeah.
this is surprised by her. She jumped, I would say, from figure to physique to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah.
That's three divisions within.
I
You
know.
know,
And she's
and
great. She's
yeah,
amazing.
she's great. She has great
And
personality.
she's like Andrea, a beautiful personality, sweet, quirky. I met her at the New York Pro when she won last year. We went and tried to get her to sponsor for my jewelry. But anyway, she's a cutie. Yeah, she's a kick in the pants, a little
Yeah.
spitfire. She's like 4'11".
No, I think she's not that hard because I think like her and Michaela probably the shortest ones right now. And
Yeah,
Michaela,
yeah,
I hope she's doing well because she had to take some step back because she was doing some
yeah. I
stuff
heard that.
medically.
I heard that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope she does. But anyway, folks, we're not going to hold the lovely Miss Britt too long because she took the time off here. And I
I'll
know
be back.
we had technical difficulties, but maybe next time we'll be back on here.
Yeah,
This question I'm ask you, ma'am. Yeah, this question I'm ask you, ma'am. What would you, as a person who's been in the sport of bodybuilding, what would you want to see bodybuilding go, especially for the women toward the future?
Go. I mean, I'd like to keep, like I said, keep it going. I'd like to see it keep, you know, get sponsored in some way. I don't know. That's a tough one, George.
I know it is.
We just have to hang in there. We just got to be strong, and hopefully we could see it. Staying strong, and I think it'll always be. I can't say always, but be in Olympia. Unfortunately, Arnold took it out of the. He took a lot of divisions out of the Arnold, but we'll see. But I'm very interested in what you said about the Rising Phoenix. I'll keep that posted and see if they do it as an open, because you never know. I might be there.
Yeah. Well, like I said again, you should have got invited 2023 because this was your last hoorah. That should have been. You should have just got an invite because I know it. It's a great show, and Jake, we put on for a good while, and and amazing ladies have been there. I watch about every year when I get a chance to, and I support these ladies because I'm a fan. Doing this content, I really get to learn because I know one of my crimes is, as my other guy says, he's a muscle person. He just loves y'all ladies. And before he lets you go, Michelle, he wants to tell you something. You are beautiful.
They've done so many movies on that. Joe, I tell you, that was Heath. What's his face? The past
Heath Ledger. He's my favorite. He's my favorite.
That was good. But they've done 2 or 3 ones since then.
Not that good. I'm telling you, no offense to Joaquin Phoenix, he's a good actor, but I didn't like his Joker. The worst was Jared Leto. I didn't like his, but he just took his and he ran with another different direction. And I just love it. Like he says, see my scars, I just like my wife. She was, she's a gambler, and I love you so much.
It was crazy. It was so
I just love that.
I've been watching. I'm a big Netflix fan. I have all the programming, but they have what's called Gotham. Gotham is like before Batman, and it was the beginnings of the Joker, of the Riddler, of Catwoman.
I used to watch that show.
Scarecrow, but it's so cool because it's like they're it's in the beginning before they're evolving the characters. So it's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
It used to come on Fox on Thursday nights. I used to love watching it. I love that. It used to come on. Then I think Hulu bought it, for Fox, and now it's showing. Great show. I liked it. Some because this thing's a little better, but they try to stay close to the comics as much as they can. But it was a good show. I used to like to watch it because
Yeah, I watch everything on Netflix now because I binge watch everything.
I don't really watch cable. I'm on YouTube. I watch regular television.
There you go.
Yeah. But
okay, kiddo, it's been real. I had a good time, and
that's why I do this interview. I love your ladies to be comfortable, have a good time, enjoy yourself, but also have some information and informative something like people know about y'all, not just that these buff, muscular women on the stage you see on the stage and the guys get excited.
Right.
Wow.
We do have lives. We do have families. We do have our other interests, and but that makes us real people. But we're kind of like superheroes on stage.
Yeah, because think about it, people don't understand what it takes y'all to get there. To dehydration, you're tired, you're hangry, but we go on that stage and see that presentation. We see those ripped bodies, and we just entranced, and we're excited.
Yeah.
I remember when you competed at Savannah Pro back in 22. I was there. And we were talking back and forth. And it was a great opportunity to see someone like Andrea Shaw on stage, and to see her do the guest post. And her I thought Mo could have competed that year. She wanted to.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure she's gonna make a comeback. If she does, she'll probably do the master. But
well, I know Melly Hoyt told me she's recently just got her degree as a massage therapist, so she may be working on that for a while. She may come back because she hadn't competed since 2023, so she may try to come back. Was 2022. She might try to come back next year.
It'll be interesting after we get April 6th, I think it is, the invites, because I'm thinking, okay, maybe someone like Monique, Kim Buck. I'm really good friends with Kim Buck. They just kind of, it is a tough sport. I mean, you can't do it forever. Like any sport, you can't do it forever. But I'd love to see, ladies like that make comeback in the sport. So,
Yeah,
but I'm still here.
yeah. I mean, I did think I wouldn't mind seeing someone like Jeannie Pepperone come back, or Iris come back, or
Yeah.
Lena Popa. Those amazing ladies. I mean, but I understand that life moves on, and you should
Yeah.
live your life. We still have the memories of the magazines. I got a bunch of them in my storage comics with my comics.
I have all the women's physique world magazines. They gave me boxes of them.
Oh
I
yeah,
have all those magazines. It's
I,
crazy. And
I
then,
I got a few issues here and there.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a
awesome.
great magazine.
Yeah,
We got one more from a man. Damon J says Kim Buck is cool. I heard that she does her own clothing line now. Because she always has been a seamstress. I
yeah,
remember one
yeah,
year,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, she
yeah.
did suits for a Wings of Strength,
I did.
and
I did a few posing routines for her when she. Well, she came. Well, before we go, she was the first. They had the Masters Olympia. They said Masters National. They said, okay, now we're going to give pro cards. This was 2006. I said, oh, okay, I was gonna quit. I told my husband, okay, I'm done. Blah blah blah. And then who shows up? She just turns 35 because it was 35 and over there. And she beat me for the pro card that first year, 2006. I'm like, son of a bitch.
yeah. Now you said, bitch.
Oh, man. I tried so many times at that show. I thought, this is my show, right? I mean, we got to have me on again. My history is like crazy. It's crazy.
Well, ma'am, if you ever have free time, let me know. You're welcome guest.
Yeah. I'm glad
Always
I
pleasure.
finally, connected with you. I know.
Yeah. Maybe by then my computer will be acting a little bit. I think it was a problem because I had made too many apps open, and sometimes it can act
Maybe,
funny
yeah.
like
So,
that. Yeah, I know. It's just I'm thinking about this is one my sister gave me some time ago because my other one's dying. So, but it's been a good. I had the last couple of years. It's time to upgrade a bit, but. Ma'am, I appreciate you and Mr. Gillis for taking
sure.
the time out here and talking with me. Good luck to you and your business.
Yeah,
Maybe
thanks.
hoping Brent Blings can really sponsor Women's Bodybuilding or even sponsor any kind of show. Opportunities there, and we need people like this, guys out there. If you're a
Yeah.
fan of these women, step up. Don't be afraid. If you don't, come on. We need to keep bodybuilding alive, especially for the women. Come on.
Yeah.
So, man, I'd like to thank you. If anybody want to shout it before I let you go,
What's that?
everybody want to shout it before I let you go.
Uh, Goodbye.
She gave a little flex for you guys. So there you go, guys. Should be happy. There you go, guys. Okay,
Everyone wants to
guys.
see biceps, right? I'm known for my biceps. Unfortunately, my back is my weakness. When I compete. But I said, you know what? Who wants to see a back? They always want to see the front double bicep.
Yeah, they love the front double. Yeah, that's the
all
deal.
the sports, the boxers, they all do the bicep.
Yeah, I had on Amanda Avialis, and she did the crab pose during our interview.
Oh,
And
Amanda, she's good. She might make a comeback too. I met her.
yeah, she said she's planning on doing a show this summer. She said
Spain.
she's gonna.
I think she said she
Yes,
would do Spain. I met her and Sylvia Mata. Sylvia Mata ended up having a good career. She came in 5th at the Masters Olympia last 23. But anyway, those were the two I met when I did the Puerto Rico Pro when they had that, and she was awesome. We became friends, and she said she's gonna make a comeback. She's got that crab, man. She's got those
crazy
traps.
crab. Her and Alicia Young probably have the best crab poses. I would say that.
Yeah.
But
Alicia
ma'am, I
Young,
don't.
that's another one. There's so many, but they just
Yeah, well, maybe we might see because I know I was talking back when one time she was saying she was thinking about coming back, but
yeah.
it's up there. But ma'am, I don't want to hold you up. You want to charge your phone. You want
Okay.
to spend
All
time with your
right.
husband. I really thank you. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Folks, let's say thanks to lovely Mrs. Michelle Brent.
Bye,
Shout out to
guys.
our man, Money J. Sorry, not Money J. Damon J. My brother K. The Wanderer. Mina Bina. Bodybuilding fan, '01, and anybody who's here who's watching this video, thank you. Comment, subscribe, follow her. Because again, if you want to follow or even check out her products on Brit Blings,
Brent's
you
Bling.
can,
I don't say that
yeah,
fast 3 times.
yeah,
BrentsBling.com.
yeah. Go to the link here in the live stream, check them out, follow both her and her husband Bill, and support them. This thing is When they make the money,
Thank you.
they can put it towards other things, especially like women's bodybuilding. Come on, guys,
Yeah.
come out there, you know. So, folks, again, I have to thank the lovely Mrs.
Proceeds will go to my show, right?
Yeah. That's it. So, folks, I'm going to thank you, the lovely Miss Michelle, and thank you for your time. Thank you for Mr. Bill for sitting in for a little bit. You know, hey, Chip, you know, and wish you best of luck in y'all future.
Okay, see you, George.
All right, see you later. Anyway, folks, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and this is your man always, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Good night, and good luck, and God bless. And
Bye.
bye.